Hi everybody, it's Phenix JiRa, and I am back, only this time I am playing Picture Cross, which is a puzzle game. In Picture Cross, you fill in a grid with either X's or black dots, squares, in order to make a picture. So this is the tutorial, and it explains how you have numbers at the top of the columns and on the left of your rows, and you fill in the squares per the numbers on those areas. So in this first example, there's an 8 in that row, and there are 8 squares going across. So you can fill in all of the spaces. The top only has 7, and the third row has 2 sections of 2 together, with at least one space between them. These 2 columns are showing on the screen right now. They both have 8, so that means you fill them all in with 8 colored squares. In the first column, the 1 has been grayed out, which means that only one square in that entire column is to be filled in, while the others can be X'd out. You see how I'm Xing them out? This is so that I don't accidentally put in, fill it in forgetting that I've already done it, worked that column. Okay, so you can see that if you want to go back to the fill-in mode, you have to click the fill-in box at the bottom. The 2 columns on the screen now, one has 7 and one has 6. But since we're starting at the top of the page, we know we can just fill all the way down until we get to the point where we have 7 or 6. So now I'm filling in all of the spots that I know for sure it shouldn't have anything filled in. And as it says on the screen, there is only ever one correct way to fill in a puzzle. So you never ever want to guess. If you get stuck, you can tap on the side column or the top of the column or the side of the row, and it'll give you a clue, which is what I just did. And now I can just complete this puzzle. So now I'm going to show you the other sections of the game that I've played, now that we've gone through the tutorial. This is the super large puzzle that you're seeing right there on the screen. See all of those squares? Those are ones that I still need to do in order to open up that whole puzzle. So that world's biggest puzzle is where we just were. And this is the summer pack, which I've completed. So you see how you can see the whole puzzle? Basically, this was covered with those little squares, and I went through and solved all of those puzzles in order to open up this large puzzle, which is the summer theme. The next one is the winter pack, and you see how it says 64. I had to solve 64 puzzles in order to see this full puzzle. I have not finished the pet store pack yet. I have finished the restaurant pack, and there were 100 puzzles in there. So now you see I've cleared out 100 puzzles, and look at that. That's a lot of people in that restaurant, I'll tell you. Here's the Home Sweet Home pack, and again I had to finish 100 puzzles out of 100, and that's what it looked like when I was done. And the next puzzle is the Wild Animals pack, which I have not finished. I've done 74. Over here is all of the other puzzles available. And in order for me to do this one, I have to first finish the Wild Animals pack. So I'm going to go back to the world's biggest puzzle, and I'm going to complete some of these easier ones. They're on all different levels. There's super easy, there's medium, there's hard, and then there's outrageously difficult. So the very bottom, look at the very bottom row. See how it has 15? There are 15 dots going across, or squares. So because that number says 15, I automatically know I can fill in the entire column going all the way across. The benefit of it being on the very bottom is now I know that all of the columns, I can figure out the columns starting from the bottom number up. So you see how I'm filling this in? There's 5, or there's 6, although I filled in one incorrectly. You can see how I filled in this one wrong, the fourth one. I'll clear that out here in a second. But all of these I can figure out based on the fact that I can fill in that entire bottom row. Now, I did record this a little bit earlier, so I'm looking at this for the first time in a while, just as you are, and I know I've made a mistake. That fourth column over, there's only supposed to be 5 squares filled in, and I have 6 squares filled in. So the game doesn't tell you when you've made a mistake. What'll end up happening is you get to the end, and you're like, this puzzle's not working out. What is going on? And if you have filled it out incorrectly, it could take you a while to figure out where you have made your mistake. All right, so that one I just filled in. There are 8 squares plus 6 squares. There is always at least one. See how I just found it. I found my mistake. Oh, good. There's always at least one X'd out or blank square between the two numbered items. So I had 8 and 6. So 8 plus 6 is 14, plus at least one empty square. So I knew that was 15. So it's very easy to fill those in. I'm gonna go on and do another easy one. So here you can see where at the bottom we have 9 and 5. Well, 9 plus 5 is 14, plus 1 gives us our 15. So I already know I can fill those in. So the next one is the same. 10 plus 4 is 14, plus the 1 in the middle, 15. So I'm going to fill all those in. Now the next one up above that I can't do. I didn't do it in this one, but you can figure out which ones are definitely blacked out. So and I'll show that in the next game. So here I'm already marking out the last 4 columns. They have 8 and 4, and I already have the 4 taken care of. So I am Xing out above and below the 4 that are already on the screen. So like that 4 and 8 row, I can't automatically fill it in. I could figure out at least some of the dots, or squares, for the number 8. And when you go and you work on a hard puzzle, these easier ones you don't, have to worry quite so much. But with the hard puzzles, you do have to start doing some examining columns versus rows and where they connect and how they might connect. And there have been some times I've needed to ask the game to help me out a little bit because I couldn't figure it out. You can see that I keep going back and forth. When I'm playing this game, I'm on my phone, and it's these tiny squares, and you got this big surface at the tip of your finger. I do have a pencil that I'm going to try and use with this game and see if that helps out, because I do end up hitting 2 squares at the same time very often. And if you don't catch that when you do it, you might black out a couple of them and not realize, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Not realize that you did it until later when you're trying to figure out why the game isn't working right, why the puzzle isn't coming out. See, I'm just all over the board here. Oh my gosh, dang it. Okay, what is this going to be? This is going to be... sometimes you can't really tell until they tell you what it is. A handstand. Okay. That puzzle was a handstand. Alright. I'm going to play one more. I'm just going to do another easy one. Okay, you see these columns that say 14? I can fill in all of those squares because I know I can't do 14 all the way to the end, but I know I at least have to do those in between. There's 13 in between there, and one at the top or one at the bottom will equal the 14, and that's what I'm doing in all of these cases. That third to last column is 11, so I know I have to at least fill in those. At least those will be filled in for certain. Okay, so like I can fill in all those. I can fill in that. I can fill in that because of the 12 going across. So now you have to start studying. So like that 6 and 8, I can do that, right? Because 6 plus 8 plus the 1 is 14. I can also fill in these rows going across that say 14. What I can't guess on is like the top one where it says 3 and 2. I don't know where those are going to be yet. The 2 and the 2 rows that say 2 and 8, that's getting a little more obvious, but only for the 2s, not for the 8. Alright, so we got that taken care of. We got that filled in. Oops, see, I don't know that top one is. That's why I removed it. And same with that one. I don't know if the 8 goes farther over or not. That one I can clear up. And let's see. Yep, I can fill in that. Oh, not that last one. So that clears that up. And I know I can take that care of that. So at the very bottom row where it says 6, those first 4, I can X those out because it won't fit. You need at least 6 squares in order to fill in 6 squares. Okay, let's see. There's some more at the top I could X out. Yeah, let's get that X'd out. And then, oh, that's not right. That bottom X is not correct. Because, the reason I know that is because I need 6. And if I X out that bottom one in that row, that's no good. So I will figure that out. I do know I completed the puzzle, so it is interesting watching myself later going, what? No, that's not correct. And I will eventually see it. I'm just sort of yelling at myself though, fix that! Come on, lady! What's wrong with you? Yeah, it's a long list. Alright, so there we go. See, I finally saw it. I'm like, what? Okay. There we go. Okay, so now that up there is all X'd out. And that one's taken care of. We're getting closer. Okay, there's the 8 going across, another 8 going across. Okay guys, we're at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching and learning about Picture Cross. It's a very challenging game and requires some concentration, but is a lot of fun. I will continue playing, and as per usual, I will see you and I will talk to you later.